Hello, everyone. Welcome to another A Division match between Qsenoch and xyrix. I'm Akuchi, and I am joined in commentary by JNails. Are you there, JNails?
Oh, can you not hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
I'm not even in the game yet.
Gotta get in there.
They jumped the gun.
I know. I'm not waiting for anybody. Least of all us.
I wouldn't start before the right before the hour mark, because then if you have a game that goes an hour or something, you get those server problems in an hour's time. Always make sure to join the new server.
I think xyrix is planning to finish this entire match before 1 hour is expired.
If there's someone who would do it, I would put my money on xyrix.
So our
I
first
think our match
kingdom,
lasted 90 minutes.
yeah, that's probably my average against xyrix. And Qsenoch is maybe a slightly faster player than us, but it would be surprising if the match lasted less than an hour. Especially since the first kingdom has Shaman in it.
Yeah. The games that take the most number of turns aren't necessarily the ones that take the longest in terms of time.
True. It's definitely an interesting kingdom, because we got Market Square, and there's a pretty nice procession. Well, there would be a nice procession line. It'd be even better if Village Green wasn't a duration, but still pretty good.
You can procession the wandering minstrels.
Oh, true that. So I would
It
Ooh,
seems a
Outpost
little lacking
is...
in draw.
Yeah, definitely. And
Outpost is basically a smithy.
well, Outpost will get you an extra card from the trash,
That's true. The smithy that also
which
gains things, like a tragic hero.
that is interesting, right? So you can like process something on your main turn, and then if you play Outpost, you can gain the thing that you processed, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, it seems like a positive synergy, I would say. You could also trash something good to Nuki and get it back.
Yeah. Speaking of Tanuki, xyrix has one, but Qsenoch does not, and a billion shamans have been purchased so far.
Aside from Outpost, the only draw here is Village Green.
I I don't really consider that draw, but yeah, so we're definitely missing that in the kingdom.
No, you just pitch it with Ferryman or Forum and you increase your hand size.
I see, I see. Yeah, okay, that's something to keep in mind. Um, I don't know. I assume both players have 1 gold, but maybe Mick has 2. I'm not sure. Gold gaining, of course, quite good when you have a Tanuki to turn that into province.
Nuki, one of the better remodel variants, and those tend to at least make it acceptable to green on the earlier side.
Yeah, and Mick picks up a Tanuki. Yeah, it's just like, I'm not sure if either player's going to go for Outpost at this point. It might. Hmm. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
I would definitely plan on having a bunch of village greens and some combination of ferryman and forum and play with an outpost.
I'm
But I
just...
wouldn't be entirely confident that that beats a deck that's just like some market squares and Tanukis and Russian
Right.
provinces really
Yeah,
fast.
that's what I'd be worried about because it's just very nice to, turn those golds into provinces and then discard a market square, get the gold right back. It's pretty powerful.
You're giving your opponent a handful of golds when you do that.
Huh?
You're if you're not playing with outpost, your opponent's going to gain those golds, which is not the biggest deal in the world.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's also the thing with Shaman where if you put enough good stuff in the trash, like you're gonna get it. um,
Yeah, there's a lot of cases like if you have a kingdom where Jeweled Egg is good, for example, and Shaman's around, you often want to line it up so you trash 2 on the same turn,
Mm-hmm.
and your opponent nabs 1 and you get 1 back.
Yeah.
You do that with golds here,
So
potentially.
this could be a double province turn for Mick. I mean, there's really not much else to do, so I think that might push his.
How does he do 2? Oh, he buys a second province. I see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that puts the pressure on xyrix. So I don't think there's time for much building here.
Doesn't look like that's the game plan. 1 ferryman, 0 outposts gained.
This could be an outpost buy. Nope, another Tanuki. That seems fair because xyrix only had the one. That's quite a lot of shamans.
Yeah, unfortunately, very clumped up.
Interesting that Village Green was played.
Would you have not?
I want to discard with Market Square. Maybe that's not that important, but I'm just thinking take a province here.
Oh, and leave the market square. I don't know what those bottom 4 cards are.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a junk card down there. I'd be happy to play the market square and trash it.
Looks like that's what Mick went for.
And probably trash the second shaman at this point as well.
If you're not buying anything for 3, yeah.
Alternatively, you could remodel the shaman and buy a 5, like get an outpost or a form or something. Mick wants the province,
Or a
which
third
I think is consistent
Tanuki.
with his game plan so far.
Yeah. I think if I were to get any 5, it would be a third Tanuki. With the plan to like, all
Yeah, that
right,
seems
provinces
reasonable.
are going to go by the end of the shuffle, like the next shuffle.
Yeah.
This pendant was not as inspiring as advertised.
It is in the top 4 best villages in this kingdom.
Barely. Yeah, a little sad that nobody played with procession, but it is like tougher to just add that to your deck because you process a good card and your opponent gets to gain that from shaman. So you have to like pair it with an outpost, and it's a lot to ask.
In principle, though, you ought to play with procession.
Now this shuffle Mick shouldn't care about. That's a very strange time to resign, wouldn't you say?
I would have put my money on Mick there, but it did not strike me as a resignable position.
It seems like you ought to wait for Mick's next turn at the very least.
Xerxes' hand didn't look that bad.
Very confusing.
That was
Yeah, Mick probably had that,
maybe I missed something
but
there.
it was odd. All right, game 2.
Right, we got Transmute this time, which looks pretty good here. You're going to potion anyway for Scrying Pool.
Um, um,
Seems
yeah,
like a natural segue.
I don't think so.
You could also gain it for free off of Kind Emperor if you're skipping Scrying Pool. That was the concern.
You sure could. You know what else you can gain from Kind Emperor? Any
Play.
card in this kingdom. I think I'd be
Not
likely to
all of them can
pick
gain duchies.
pick Grand Market and Scrying Pool.
Any card your heart desires.
So what do we open with River Shrine? It's Wishing Well, probably.
Uh, probably. Is there anything fancy to do with Slay here in the early game? I don't think so.
Here's something funny.
Yeah, I think just River Shrine Wishing Well.
If you get 2 actions in play, for instance, by playing Wishing Well and River Shrine, Peddlers will cost 4, but you can't gain them with River Shrine because that triggers at the start of cleanup.
Let me make sure I got my terminology right because Johnson's attempting to be a picker of nits. The kingdom cards only refer to the 10 cards that show up in the specific kingdom. I think province is in the supply, but it's not in the kingdom. Is
Sure.
that right?
Yeah, I buy
All right.
that.
All right. Uh, Someone was attempting to imply that you were in error. Aki said you can get any card in the kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, certainly when we refer to a kingdom card, that is the 10 cards we're looking at in the middle of the board.
I think there's some card that references kingdom cards in the setup.
Hmm.
Let me check. Establish a precedent for this. Yeah, so Ferryman, for example, says setup. Choose an unused kingdom card pile costing 3 or 4. Well, I guess I could never choose silver anyway because like Ferryman can't choose potion. There we go. Because potion's not a kingdom card. Young
Mm-hmm.
Witch says add an extra kingdom card costing 2 or 3. Yeah, kingdom card is a term of art in Dominion parlance.
Yeah, what John might be saying is a kingdom card may be well defined, but a card in the kingdom may not be the exact same thing as a kingdom card. In any event, we have 3 ironworks gained, which was not on my expectation. Uh,
It is a lot of ironworks, yes.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm
Is
not
it
sure what
three
these
for
are
one player or
gaining.
three between the two of them? This is fine. I think 2 ironworks is a reasonable number for one player to have. 3, I think, would be pushing it.
I guess Swamp Shacks is pretty good later on.
Gain some wishing wells, gain some swamp shacks, gain a salvager when you need it.
Yeah, my opinion on Wishing Well is the first one is a lot better than subsequent ones.
Yeah, wishing well is best on turn 4.
It's pretty darn good on turn 4, but it's also good with gain and play, right? If you have one Wishing Well and you're like, oh, well, I gained this card and I know how to trigger it. Like it works well with overdraw. Um, Once you have more Wishing Wells, you just like, I don't know, I've got a 30% chance maybe at most to
Yeah,
draw a
like
card
you
with
play
this
your
Wishing Well.
transmute, you gain a transmute, you wish for transmute, you draw that, you play 2 more transmutes, then you can wish for another transmute. There's pretty strong synergies in this kingdom.
Yeah. So you've got one favor left. So Kind Emperor about to kick off. It's a little bit awkward with River Shrine because it's terminal. So whatever you gain, like you're not actually likely to be able to play it. I don't think either player. Yeah, nobody has a Swamp Shacks yet.
One of them has a slay, so you could gain a swamp shacks to hand with your ironworks, then play that, play your river shrine,
Hmm.
then gain a transmute and play it.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you say that Xyrix is behind on account of having trashed more estates than Mick, so that he has fewer transmute to gold targets?
I would not say that because I honestly have very little conception of what's in each player's deck right now. So I
Now, I'm actually
couldn't
really
really render an opinion on who's behind.
shocked that Mick has not
Uh,
trashed any estates. I assume they had the opportunity to do that.
the word on the street is the river shrine was not lining up with the estates.
Hmm. Well, Mick
That's
got a
the check.
potion, so did Xyrix. I feel like
I mean,
Scrying
you could
Pool.
keep a potion here and just get all your potion cost cards off of Kind Emperor, but I think the potion makes sense.
Scrying Pool and Swamp Shacks seem to be fulfilling pretty similar roles in this kingdom. In my opinion, I think I would have skipped Potion. I would have at least strongly considered skipping Potion. I feel like once you have Kind Emperor active, which it is, like you can just gain a Grand Market or whatever to your hand. You maybe gain a Scrying Pool, right? Like, but then you just have swamp shacks that you've gained from ironworks. I think that's enough draw. Like I think you get plenty of draw that way. I don't think you actually need to be buying scrying pools.
I can imagine scenarios where you skip potion and it works out. I think I would go for potion anyway, though. There's just not a lot of high priority stuff to get early game. Once you get your river shrine and you're trashing, adding a potion and buying a few scrying pools just seems like a natural next place to go.
I think I would
Scrying
just be
pools start
gaining
to
more
run your
swamp
deck a little bit
shacks.
faster than Swamp Shacks does.
Hmm. Well, nobody has bought a scrying pool, so I think that goes against that point of yours.
Yep. I
Whereas
think the
if that
potions
was
are
a
fairly
swamp
late.
shacks instead of a potion in mix hand, he would have a better turn right now. See what I'm getting at?
All right, Silly Potter is on Team Potion.
I was fine with Kind Emperor. The game ends like faster than you expect.
Yeah. Like with the Transmute Auto Pile. You gain one of those, and it goes from 10 to 0 in one turn.
Now Mick
Might be
chooses
a little
not
hard
to.
here because they trashed too many other coppers.
Mick chooses not to trash one of the estates there. Scholars will debate the merits of that. Probably picking up Scrying Pool, two peddlers. Or, Swamp Shacks and two peddlers.
That is interesting that he didn't trash that estate. I mean, he didn't need the money this turn anyway, given his set of buys.
Whoa! There you go.
Presumably he
So,
plans to salvage it next turn.
so Xyrix gained one Scrying Pool, and now they have super duper overdraw.
Hmm.
Which suggests to me Xyrix did not need this potion. Indeed, I would go so far as to say they should salvage it this turn.
Gaining Salvager makes sense. There's a lot of value in having plus buy here with peddlers around.
Yeah. I think you'd need another village, don't you?
You do need a village if you want to play the River Shrine as well, but you can gain one off the Ironworks.
But if you gain
I,
all the ironworks, then you might dud next turn.
but you get to put a Scrying Pool straight in your hand.
That's true. The Emperor is very kind. What the hell is that potion doing?
Yeah, transmute.
That's your bet?
That's my suggestion. We'll see if Xyrix takes it.
This is going to be Province, Scrying Pool, Double Peddler, I guess.
All right, Peddler, Transmute, Swamp Shacks, Commerce. I don't know why you're laughing at that.
That'd be interesting. I didn't see commerce in the kingdom. I would be very nervous as Xyrix with my 5 ironworks to gain,
And
6 golds into the deck.
Scrying Pool and Swamp Shacks, they'll do it just fine. Oh yeah, Desperation means you could do like Peddler, Transmute, Grand Market Commerce.
I think it's coming. I think the commerce is coming.
Do it.
Swamp Shack's commerce, right? How many golds is this going to be? At least 5, I think. I think exactly 5.
Unless he Desperations.
Oh my god, he got a wishing well so he could get 6 golds. That's actually insane. I can't believe you would want that. I would have definitely taking Swamp Shacks over Wishing Well. And part of the reason is to have one fewer golds added to the deck. Like, this is so risky.
I think I agree with the Swamp Shacks.
Like, Xyrix got super lucky with their draws last turn. That's obviously not going to happen again because you just added 6 golds. Mick has decided that they also want 5 Ironworks. Or I assume they can't empty. So I am
So with 6 golds
curious.
in the deck, and are there any coppers left?
Yeah, 1.
1 copper and 1 potion.
Mm-hmm.
8. Uh, so he's 1 treasure shy, I think, of threatening the transmute auto pile.
And 6 actions.
Yeah, but you got Ironworks. You can gain Swamp Shacks.
Mm,
It'll be fine.
that's true. So Qsenoch with a less impressive amount of overdraw this turn.
For Xyrix, draw order next turn. Do you play Wishing Well first or Spool first? Has Mick successfully top decked a bad card? Doesn't look like it. Um,
I'd play Spool.
I recall this being a hot topic back in the day, where assuming you knew for sure that your top card was a bad card, like a gold or something, and you had a cantrip and a scrying pool in your hand, um, I think the consensus, which I find counterintuitive but apparently works out, is you play the cantrip first, drawing the bad card, and then you play the scrying pool. And in whatever scenarios that draws like ever so slightly more cards on average than playing the scrying pool first and discarding the bad card.
I do find that counterintuitive.
It is. I think
Xerix decides
either
Wishing Well
VRS
first.
or Freaky worked it out way back when.
Xerix just
Um,
cheated. How could they have gotten gold there? Unbelievable.
I think with Wishing Well, I probably prefer playing Wishing Well first, because then you can wish for a gold on top, which is the main card that would trip up your scrying pool.
All right, Xerix on the razor's edge of having a turn where they draw their cards. It all depends on what's coming up next.
We have 5, 6 cards.
All the
There's no value playing this extra Ironworks right now.
No, all the gold. Oh, there's the Swamp Shacks. I think that's literally their only other Swamp Shacks, so this might save their turn. They have maybe one more Wishing Well down there. And they have at least 2 Peddlers, I think. But they're out of Scrying
There's
Pools, right?
1 more gold and a potion.
No, they have one more Scrying Pool, right? Because they bought one last turn.
Yeah.
And they gained one here.
Womp
Oh,
womp.
womp womp. That's pretty unlucky, but also it was greedy to gain the Wishing Well over the Swamp Shacks last turn.
We could draw one with the Ironworks. I feel lucky.
Yeah, feeling lucky.
We are lucky.
Hey, that 1 VP could matter. I think. I wonder if there's a win here.
I did it paid off. Actually,
Well, yeah, if you draw a
how
Scrying
unlikely
Pool.
was so the bottom however many cards were basically Scrying Pool, Wishing Well, Ironworks. So it was actually
Yeah,
pretty likely that he found that Scrying Pool off of that Ironworks. So it wasn't even as much of a Hail Mary as it looked like.
sure. Yeah. The drawing Ironworks is the bad draw.
Yeah.
All right, what can you do here? Can you empty Salvagers and Peddlers and win? Probably not. Can you empty Swamp Shacks and Peddlers and win? Hmm. You've got 4 buys. Or excuse me, 6 buys coming up. So no, you can't.
Sorry, I was dealing with a rowdy dog for a few seconds there, but it sounds like we're looking for a pile out.
No, I don't think it's there.
Yeah, we're pretty low on gains.
All
The
right.
auto transmit here might be threatening something next turn, though.
I think we're just gaining 2 provinces, maybe 3.
Does Mick have a province?
Yep.
Looks like it, yeah.
I don't think Mick can take 4. I'm almost positive they can't because they do have salvager, like big salvager stuff, but they can't like take 4 without trashing province. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not like the one province to salvage. It's not like remodel where you can remodel the same province on repeat and then gain
Yeah,
out a million gold off turn.
but you have to take a lot of
Uh,
VP to protect against Mick getting the pile out on, whatever.
you
Do I
keep the
keep the
estate here,
estate?
probably.
Yeah, I think you might salvage the river shrine. It's not really accomplishing much.
For sure, I think. Actually, I guess it's not. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Trash the river shrine because you're not playing it anyway. If you had an extra action, I'd consider trashing the copper with it. Um,
Yeah.
Trash the river shrine and trash 2 golds.
No, trash river shrine, trash potion, and then trash something else, maybe gold. I guess you'd have to add stuff up, but who has the patience for that? Xyrix, seemingly.
Xerix did have one like 7 minute think in my game.
It was not
Game
7 minutes,
2, I
but yeah,
think.
it was remarkable.
It hit the make Xerix resign
Mm,
timer like halfway in. It was long,
okay.
and it was like a weird spot too. Like not a spot that you'd think.
So let's just
Like where it hit
assume we trash
behind
river shrine and
like Xerix.
potion. That brings us up to 17, and then we have 15 more from the golds. So that's 33. That's already pretty good. I'm not sure there's a whole lot more you like want to have. So I think I'd just keep the gold so that you guarantee you have a better next turn. Yeah, I think taking quad. Well, that's interesting, right? Because now Mick has a tough time actually getting the VP to beat that. No, they just need 3 provinces without trashing a province. Mick can probably pull that off. Honestly, taking 3 provinces is about as risky as taking 4.
My intuition says take 2 provinces. Having not counted it, I would worry about gaining some salvagers and salvaging the peddlers. Maybe you could count it out.
Yeah, it's a question of how worried you are about the 3 pile threat from Mick if you only take 2 provinces, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you could take some number of duchies, although you wouldn't want to open up a duchy pile out either.
Yeah, I think it is safer to leave 5 provinces.
Something like 2 provinces and 2 duchies feel like gives you another turn. So Mig only has one swamp shaft, which is a pretty big limitation. Like at the moment, he can play exactly 2 salvagers. He does have 5 ironworks.
Mm-hmm.
You could gain like 2 more swamp shafts, 2 more salvagers, and then I don't know how many peddlers he has, but a few of them. You salvage a few peddlers. Each peddler you salvage is a province.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No,
But
Mick, yeah, could put up some scary numbers.
I want to say 2 duchies, a scrying pool, and a something.
Definitely a scrying pool. You didn't trash the potion, so you kind of commit
I mean, you
yourself
could
to
consider transmute as well.
taking scrying pool. It might not be worthwhile lowering anything else though. Like scrying pool 2 duchies maybe is the best play. Lowering wishing well is maybe safe because it's easier for Mick, I think, to empty Swamp Shack, Salvager, and Peddler all than Wishing Well.
Yeah, I think taking Wishing Well is entirely safe. Nick would probably naturally want to gain Swamp Shacks anyway, so that he could play more Salvagers.
Mm-hmm.
He only has one village right now in his entire deck.
Oh wow.
I think it is not clear to me what Nick should gain here to hand.
Are you sure he doesn't have
Because
two? One, two.
am I?
I see four
Oh, maybe
played by
maybe I'm wrong.
Xyrix.
Oh, I could be misleading you. I don't know why I thought that. I counted it earlier and decided that was true, and I'm looking at it, and I don't know how I got to that conclusion.
Yeah, the
Okay,
the
maybe he has
fact remains,
two
right?
Swamp
Like, what is Mick gonna gain with the Ironworks? The cards that actually help him are Swamp Shacks and Salvager. Xerx decides not to get any
Yeah,
duchies. I respect that.
I would have taken a duchy or two.
Well, let's see if Mick can end it.
Admittedly, Xerix was presumably counting something other there while I was spitballing.
So
Maybe he
let's
worked it out.
see. Let's suppose Mick gains two Swamp Shacks and three Salvagers. And so now they can play
Okay.
five Salvagers. And they
Okay.
have two Grand Markets, I think. So we're looking at 8 buys. Sure looks like Mick can can empty it. Can like end on piles.
There's not. I mean, it's a fine card and all, but like it's not that important to have in your deck next turn. I don't know why the necessity to take two more Grand Markets there for Xerix.
It definitely threatens more next turn, but yeah, it's a question of are you safe this turn? And also it's a pile that like isn't dangerous to take, right? Like taking more Swamp Shacks makes it easier for Mick to pile. Taking more Peddlers makes it easier for Mick to pile, you know?
With duchies, you also don't want to take too many duchies, otherwise like Swamp Shacks plus duchy or Salvager plus duchy becomes a threat. But
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, a duchy or two I thought looked better than not. Maybe even just one duchy.
Yeah, I feel like this is within Mick's capabilities. But of course, he has to have a good turn, and he's now debating like what to take from Kind Emperor. Scrying Pool is, of course, the safest thing to take. But if he's like, well, I really need to buy, you might want to take Grand Market, or you might want to
Situations where
take
you've got to like count up,
Swamp
and
Shacks.
figure out the entirety of your deck. If you figure out that if I just draw everything, I can already win. Well, then take the scrying pool, and you'll definitely win.
Mm-hmm.
If you need an extra salvage or something to get over the finish line, we'll take the salvager and
No,
play
you
the
would take the Swamp Shacks.
or whatever it happens to be that you need.
Yeah, I think realistically the only two things you take here are Scrying Pool or Swamp Shacks. Because look at all those actions in hand for Mick. Like he should be able to
Well, you're
get.
saying that, but those peddlers, I would really prefer not to play those peddlers if I
I hear
could,
you.
because that's going to be the
Yeah,
ideal
I hear you.
salvager target.
But he's got no village in hand, and he doesn't have any villages in general. So gaining a salvager to hand just seems extremely risky to me. Scrying Pool is oh, there we go. There's the Swamp Shacks.
If I had to make a split decision here, it would be Swamp Shacks. I think if you count it up and figure out that you don't need the extra gain to pile, then just take the scrying pool because it's safer.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay. You play a peddler, clearly. I guess not. He's really saving
I,
these peddlers. You don't need
he's
that
doing
much
that swamp
money,
shack.
like unless Mick's trying for like a 5 province line.
He also doesn't have that much to draw in total. Unlike Xerix, he doesn't have a million treasures. He's had to get to a scrying pool. And now he could
Yeah.
draw from here. Go ahead and play
Keeping
a
all
salvager
three
and then swamp shack.
peddlers suggests to me that this is a 5 province line, which is definitely within the realm of possibility. 4 peddlers, even. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's still not obvious to me what he's going for. I can see this leading to any number of pileups.
I think the 5 province line is the simplest at this point.
I ended up just tying a game today that I really ought to have won because I played too many scrying pools haphazardly. without thinking about it, and it turned out I needed to keep one in hand to remodel.
That's a rare trick.
Yeah. Like if you can draw your deck here, which looks like you can, I think it makes sense to just hold the pillars back and then calculate afterwards.
Yeah, he can hella overdraw his deck. Swamp Shacks do that. The scrying pool draws everything.
Right. Yeah, it's just like all actions down there. This smells like a win.
Yeah.
Is it a win on provinces?
Yes. The
It is?
Ironworks for one more Salvager. And you trashed the 3 Peddlers in a province.
Can you? Yeah, you can play all that. Yeah, so Mick has a win on provinces. Looks like he would also have a win on Salvager plus Swamp Shacks.
Oh, no. He is one action short of playing all those Salvagers.
No. You were right. This Ironworks is in the middle of resolving. He's about to get one action
Oh,
back.
okay. Fooled me. No.
Constantly, this one always
Oh,
fools
God.
me.
Yeah. It all works. It all works.
Yeah. So it looks like nothing was safe. Uh, I
Yeah.
mean,
It's pretty tough to
usually
beat
it's
that.
provinces, but then surely there's some other pile out there.
Yeah, I think he had the pile out also. Like,
Yeah.
he just had it all. Well played. Was the commerce correct? Hmm. Don't know.
He did manage to draw, right? It doesn't feel like the commerce was what lost him the game there. Not sure what did.
Mick holding on to the peddlers was so like represented so much reach, you know. That definitely was a good play for Mick. It's like why the commerce wasn't necessary. Like Mick showed that. Yeah, I think they took one turn when xyrix commerced. But yeah, they could have taken more along with some provinces, and that might have been a winning line, but it's really hard to say.
I don't know, did he need more money? It seemed like Zurich Tech needed a few more gains in there somehow.
I think I would have just preferred a slightly more aggressive greening because the turn that Xyrix commerced, they were behind in VP, and Mick at that point only had one Ironworks or two Ironworks, so they didn't really have the same
Mm.
kind of threat that they had the following turn. So if Xyrix had just taken two provinces and some more peddlers, I think that might have put Xyrix in an advantageous spot. But it's hard to say without playing it out.
Asks if Xerix could have taken the whole Ironworks deck too. I don't think so. If I recall correctly, the turn that he took a bunch, he took as many as he possibly could. He had to also gain one Swamp Shacks and play it to be able to play all of his Salvagers.
Yeah,
Um,
I think well, Tracer they could have bought Ironworks, but I don't know. That seems like a weird line to me.
oh yeah.
That's like playing two turns away, whereas I feel like you just take the provinces, and then if your opponent is like taking a billion Ironworks to have a bunch of reach, then you just take more provinces. And like, what do they do against 5 provinces? I don't know.
Yeah. This kingdom looks awkward.
Yeah, island folk with student as the liaison is always an awkward time.
I enjoy kingdoms where it is practical to just trash Lich just to gain coppers to trash with your student just to get favors for an island folk. I don't think that this kingdom is strong enough to support that. There's just a severe lack of draw.
That sequence has never
Aristocrat.
crossed my mind. Just throwing that out there.
I feel like that comes up on occasion.
You have played more Dominion than me.
So Aristocrat is draw. I sure wouldn't mind having a Lich in the deck. It's a good target for enlarge and a great card to play on your last turn. You might even consider playing Lich on non-final turns. Like if your average hand size is often going to be 3 cards in hand, playing a Lich is more than like a whole extra turn of value.
I'm dubious about that, but maybe.
Are you dubious or do you find it dubious?
Oh,
I feel like the dubious describes the thing that you doubt, not the person doubting,
I'll
right?
accept your correction.
I'm like 75% sure of that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, we are quite draw limited here. Hmm.
Yeah. Actually, Cutthroat's kind of terrible here, isn't it? Because of Wolf Den. I guess you could play with a cutthroat and then enlarge the loots later.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, like Cutthroat is a good. The hand size attack is good, but yeah, gaining the loots is minus VP. But yeah, you can enlarge them later. I think enlarge looks really good here. I think it's a strong card in general.
Actually, I want loots. Not only can you enlarge loots, you could develop loots into a province and a farm. I feel like that's worth. And the discard attack hurts a lot in the kingdom with so little draw. I kind of want loots.
So here we have student makes things awkward, and by that I mean it means you don't hit 5, potentially ever, and that's what we're seeing so
Student
far.
means you often don't. You struggle to hit 4 even.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right? We see this. Like Mick got potentially the best draw they could possibly get, where they paired both aristocrats, and they still have no opportunity to hit 4.
Yeah. It's a struggle because there's a really good $4 card underneath student that you often want in a lot of kingdoms of conjurer, and you're in the situation of like I got the student, so I have the power to rotate the pile, but I can't hit 4. So if I rotate it,
Yep.
my opponent gets the
Yeah.
conjurer before I do.
It's pretty crazy. So Maharath wants Leprechaun. You're definitely gonna take a hex if you play the Leprechaun, but maybe that's fine. Maybe that's the way you get.
Definite? It doesn't seem. Well, maybe. It's actually hard to keep the student in play because if you trash a copper, it runs away.
Oh, that's interesting. In fact, Mick doesn't play the student. Mm-hmm. This aristocrat's not doing anything.
Sad.
I kind of like the Leprechaun, even if you take a hex. I just like golds with enlarge.
This came up. I think was it yesterday. I was playing a ladder game versus someone who was like 15 points lower, and they had a Gary Strong just Chapel Leprechaun money deck where they
Mm-hmm.
opened Chapel Leprechaun, which I would never in a million years do,
Mm-hmm.
and they gained some golds and trashed down, and it was. Uh, I thought it was winning, and then they resigned.
They were probably too embarrassed to beat you.
I played enough Will-O-Wisps that they were intimidated into
Mm.
resigning a winning position.
I've done something like that once. I forget if it was Chapel or Donate, but I've definitely used Leprechaun as a gold gainer, planning to never actually like activate it for the
I
wish.
think donate is the only context that comes to my mind where I would intentionally gain Leprechaun just for the gold.
It's definitely safest that way.
Um,
Oh, Leprechaun gained. Who was it?
no one knows.
No, 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 no. We should know. We're commentating. Qsenoch got
Nobody
a
knows.
got a Leprechaun.
Allegedly, there's no way to be sure.
I see it. Hey, this is activated.
Uh, no, it's not. This is not activated. We went over this. You
Oh,
can't keep the in play. I told you.
diabolical. Well, I mean, Mick hit 5 at any rate. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
going places.
So when did Mick get the? When did they use their Island Folk turn? Turn 7. Okay. So there's not really much incentive to play student over develop here.
They don't compete with each other. Oh, I guess you're wanting a 5. Is that
Yeah,
the idea?
and also I don't want a top deck student, but Mick does.
Interesting. Um,
I guess it's a
I
question
can
like,
understand only trashing one. I mean, I guess sorcerer is annoying enough, or do you want enlarge?
I want enlarge,
Okay. Um,
especially since I'm playing this leprechaun.
yeah. I think I'm on board with just trashing one copper. I'm not sure whether you trash it with the developer or the student. I
It's a
guess all things equal, I'd rather not top deck the student. I'm wondering if it's at all realistic to trigger Island Folk a second time
yeah.
before the
I am
student lands, and
wondering
maybe it's not.
if either player is going to work towards that. I'm guessing Mick is not because Mick has already trashed a copper with develop. In fact, they may have trashed 2 coppers with develop. No, that doesn't math out.
Just the one.
Yeah.
Wait, I think it's copper on bottom.
Well, they've. Oh, no, no, no. Right. You only need to play student trashing copper 4 times, not 5. I think they have trashed 2 copper with develop. They trashed 1 on turn 8, didn't they? No, wait. Yeah, they did. So Mick's
Isn't
already
it braver
passed
in order
up
to play Leprechaun?
2. In fact, on turn 8, Mick passed up an opportunity to play student trashing copper. So
Oh, but now, okay, so he just wants the workers' village. It seems like. No, he wants the
he doesn't
fourth.
want to even play Leprechaun? Oh, what are you afraid of, Mick?
That's. I feel like that's too many. Isn't that 4 aristocrats for Mick?
Yeah. What are you afraid of, Mick?
I think 3 aristocrats is a good number.
Why wouldn't you
Like the
take
number I
Workers'
really want
Village?
to play. I really want to play 2 aristocrats. But to find 2 aristocrats, you probably want to have 3 in your deck.
Yeah,
And then when you eventually buy the third one, 3 coins is not so bad.
I think you pretty much
The
never
fourth
want
one,
just 2 aristocrats.
yeah. The fourth one seems like,
Bad.
yeah, I don't want the buys at all. If you want buys, just get a workers village.
All right, we develop the aristocrat or student into a Workers' Village. Unfortunately, you get in state with it. Yeah, you don't play the develop, I guess, or maybe you do.
I don't think it's unreasonable not to play the leprechaun. I assume the main rationale would be adding a gold to your deck makes you less likely to activate it next turn. And then if that would trade off with you getting this stuff, then it's not worth it.
Do we develop the student? It sucks to top deck in a state. There's no denying that.
I don't know about that. I like the develop. Develop is a good card.
Hmm. This is
I'm gonna say
definitely
don't develop. I think just don't do either of those. Plan to enlarge the student next turn.
Mick took another aristocrat.
Are you going for 6 of them, maybe?
What if Xyrix just gains 2 aristocrats here? Isn't that horrible for Mick? But it's also kind of bad for Xyrix. But like,
Yeah.
you know, it's weird.
Interesting things are happening.
I feel like
So
Xyrix is gonna take this aristocrat.
I don't
Nope.
think the logic, even if you're going for 6 aristocrats, I don't think it makes sense.
No, like
So assume that you have 3 aristocrats already, which I think is the correct number, and then you're contemplating whether to add 3 more.
uh-huh.
You're getting a card that says plus 3 cards in it, but it's the last aristocrat in your deck, and you're adding 3 cards to do it. So you're not actually increasing the total draw of your deck by going from 3 to 6 aristocrats.
Nope. And you're also not increasing your total actions. All you're doing is increasing your number of buys. And that's if you draw them all. But like if that
Yeah.
bottom aristocrat, like if your 6th aristocrat is near the bottom of your deck, you're not getting that draw, and it's just even worse than that.
Yeah, I really hate these aristocrats.
Yeah, I think 3 was the right number. So I think Xerix has 1 too many aristocrat, and Mick has 2 too many.
Yeah, not everybody wants to be a crat. All right, Mick thinking hard. I would guess aristocrat, just knowing the contents of Mick's deck. Wait, oh no, that's not what we're waiting on. Xerix is the one guessing, and has already guessed wrong. I got my teams backwards. I don't understand. What are you doing, Mick?
I mean, once you get a 5th aristocrat, like it's not surprising to me that Mick's taking a 6th.
Yeah, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound.
I agree with Donald X. I feel like a streamlined and large plan would have been at, like 2 or 3 provinces by now and would just win.
I don't think the deck would look fundamentally different. I would just do what they were doing until the point where they gain the 4th aristocrat and replace that with an enlarge.
I ever since Maharath suggested it, I look a little bit favorably on early Leprechaun planning to play it for gold and hex. Because once you have a golden deck, it's a lot easier. Gold in deck, not golden deck. It's a lot easier to hit 5 coins.
Oh, do you pronounce those things differently?
Not necessarily, which is why I had to clarify. So this is like the best case scenario for Mick. He gets all the aristocrats.
Yeah, every single one of them. We have so many buys.
The
Now we can pile up
absolute best
curses.
case scenario. This will never happen again. And now, if that was sorceress, it would be well, whatever it worked out. These decks are pretty good for a sorcerer attack in that it's very hard to predict what your top card is. A lot of
See, that's
variety.
why I make all the aristocrats so that he can make more reliable sorcerer guesses.
Aha! The sorcerer defense. Did Xyrix pick up a sorcerer? Yep.
Awkwardly, you kind of want 2 sorcerers here, even though 2 is usually a terrible number.
Oh, that's so funny. That is probably why Xyrix got the second conjurer. I mean, it's not
That's a good
bad.
reason to get a second conjurer. Just plan to trash it before the game ends. It'll always be in hand when you need it to.
Yeah, but like gaining workers' villages is fine, and their hand size neutral.
I guess.
Has Mick wished for something yet?
Enlarges at 10. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, but didn't Mick have a wish? What did he wish for? I'm a little
Have you drawn it yet?
confused. Well, he just got a new wish. What was the first wish?
Oh, he sorcerer. Turn 11 and a
Oh,
sorcerer.
okay. Okay. Hey, Unlarge finally got purchased. The best card in the kingdom.
Okay.
I guess you could argue that Workers' Village is better, but it has replacements.
So would you pronounce enlarge differently from in large?
I don't often say in large. I think it's
Or
slightly different though.
but like what if you're like Hamlet small, in large?
I think it's slightly different, but
Hmm, slightly different.
yeah.
Where
And
did you grow up
mm,
regionally?
Mid Atlantic.
Ah, yeah. So you're kind of on the border there.
What are you getting at? The border of what?
People who pronounce those differently, people who pronounce those the same.
Mm. You'll have to fill me in on your accents
In,
across the
in,
eastern coast of the United States knowledge.
in like the greater southeast. So
Okay.
like imagine the South inclusive of Missouri and all that. Those
Mm.
two things are identical. Um, Likewise with the example from a second ago. Um, I already forgot what it was. Oh, golden deck versus golden
Golden
deck.
versus Gold in. Yeah, that
Yeah, go
one
ahead.
I will definitely pronounce
Um,
the same. Like golden, I will not emphasize the N
yeah,
sound, but with N large, since it like starts the word, I'm more likely to actually
whereas yeah,
pronounce
like
that.
Yankees and people out on the West Coast tend to distinguish those much more
Mm.
so.
Hmm. So Xerix played this lovely aristocrat for +3 buys. What comes next? Do we
We didn't
wish?
have to play that for 3 buys. We could have wished for an enlarge and murdered it.
Yeah, but we could also wish
Like
for
we
an
can still
enlarge
undo.
and hmm. Yeah, I guess there isn't a great target here. Like you can get rid of the curse, but
There was a good target and we played it.
yeah. I guess the student trash is the curse. It all works out. I mean, we can buy a province or we can buy enlarge.
Yeah,
Oh, we can
4
buy
aristocrats
Lich.
isn't. I like that buy. I'm on board with that buy.
Let's
I like that.
go. Gold is a good target for enlarge, but Lich is a better target.
What can we gain?
We gain a
Can we gain the
develop.
develop back? Yeah, I
Incredible.
like develop here too. Well, actually, I like develop in the world where we were getting the loot, and that didn't seem to be on the table for either of these players.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about develop. But I just like that you can trash Lich and it doesn't go away.
I also just want to play the Lich at some point in this game.
The last turn, presumably.
Not even necessarily. I think, and this did on operate on the assumption that like cut purse was going to show up at some point, or sorry, cutthroat, and it hasn't. But like if you were under a cutthroat attack, playing a Lich would look pretty darn good, even on a non-final turn. Did Akuchi say Lich is a better target or Lich is a better target? Hmm.
If I were playing this game, I would just be so stressed out because that's how I get with Wolf Den. Like taking that Lich, like you can't get rid of that Lich, right? So
Get another
you're
one.
committed to getting another one. Yeah,
The only way out is through.
you're just committed, man.
I don't threaten me with a good time. I'll take 2 Liches. I'll take 3 Liches.
I'm not sure if I've ever taken a second Lich.
Liches get stitches.
The stitches probably have no effect on the Liches. Whoa, that's a second. That's a second Leprechaun. Good thing, because now they can activate their second Leprechaun.
That's pretty funny.
Oh
And
my
they trashed
god,
the
it
student.
trashed a student! That's amazing!
It's a dinner. That's funny.
That's +3 VP.
That's hilarious.
What an amazing Leprechaun. Not quite as good as a Wish, but pretty close. I don't know what the context for that second Leprechaun gain was, but that's wild.
I don't know. Wolf Den is something you think about with like 2 turns left in the game. Just buy whatever you want, and then you're like, oh, the game's about to end. Let me go collect a second card
I
from all
wish
the
my
piles.
brain worked that way, but it does not. Maybe I should try to play that way, just consciously focus on it. But no, Wolf Den gets me very stressed.
The only times I dislike Wolf Den are with cards that I already hated anyway, and in those games it's their fault. Like Wolf Den plus Masquerade is a miserable time, but that's because Masquerade's a miserable time. Or like Wolf Den Barbarian, all the nasty cards.
See, I don't think
Wolf Den in
Wolf
a normal
Den
kingdom,
Mask
perfectly
is that
fine.
bad because there's like a straightforward way to play the kingdom, and you can potentially just clean up any loose ends at the end. It
But
just
then they
like
give you a
rewards
new
being
loose
the
end,
last
and then there's
person.
nothing you can do about that.
Well, it rewards being the person to end the game, which, there's already a reward there, but it just amplifies it a little more.
It rewards you having the right 5 card hand when your opponent's about to end the game, so that you can pass them something dubious.
That's true. But still, like you as the person ending the game, you have so much flexibility there because you can trash a card, with your mask if they pass you a unique.
I hate Masquerade less than I used to. I still don't like it, but I used to hate that card with a burning passion.
I think it's fun.
Right.
It's
I mean,
terminal draw, which is inherently a little bit unfun, but once you get past that, I think it's a fun card.
first off, it's part of intrigue, so it's guilt by association, starting off presumptively in a bad spot.
Hmm. I'm hearing this beef for the first time.
No, it's common knowledge. Intrigue is the worst expansion, except maybe alchemy.
Hmm. You are an attack hater, so that checks out. But did you hate first edition Seaside?
I never played first. Oh no, never mind. Seaside. I thought you were about to say intrigue. Um, Sea Hag was pretty nasty.
Oh,
I did not like
pretty
Ghost Ship
nasty.
one bit. Ghost Ship was worse than Sea Hag.
Ghost Ship is
My
is
impression is
yeah.
that Sea Hag used to just be like the worst card ever when the average Dominion Kingdom was much weaker. I feel like I
Yeah.
didn't start Dominion until Sea Hag was like moderately nasty.
It's still
The
like
games where Sea Hag was
one
really strong were
but
nasty.
it's still like one person can just opt into making the game miserable if they open Sea Hack.
Yeah,
So even if
I
it's
certainly
not
did not like
optimal,
Sea Hag.
like it still sucks.
I mean, even when it existed, it probably wasn't on my top 5 worst cards. but it was a bad card.
Yeah.
I'm happy it
Yeah,
died.
because like by the time it was removed, it was like correct to gain maybe 50% of the time. So yeah, it's not like as oppressive as something like Ghost Ship, perhaps. Yeah, no, I think
Sea Witch does not bother me nearly as much.
First edition Seaside had some of the nastiest like set of attacks. With
Ghost
all the
Ship is just
second editions, it's intrigue. That seems correct. So what are we doing with this lich? We don't have any enlarges as xyrix.
how many cards are down there? Are there 6 or more cards in your discard right now? I don't actually know.
There's definitely some leprechauns down there, and at least one
Ooh,
wish.
low-ish, and Xerxes is behind by a lot of points. I would be a little bit worried. I guess I'd be worried either way. Um,
Yeah, Xerxes is in a bad spot regardless. I don't think skipping the next turn is a good idea because like look how low the piles are. Mick can just be like, oh, I have 2 turns to empty Workers Village and Fishing Village, and I don't even need to get any points. I can do that.
right, I'd be a little worried about that if I played the Lich.
Yeah.
But like, if you don't play the Lich, what are you accomplishing here?
This is a question. You have these 2 conjurers. It's really bad to not play them, but if you play them, you're going to be lowering piles.
Right.
Now, yeah. You can get 2 snowy villages, I guess.
Xerxes needs more enlarges.
They have 0, so I agree.
Play the Lich. Allegedly, there's a wish down there. You
There's
can
one.
wish for an enlarge. What?
Yeah, there's one.
And then you can trash one of these conjurers.
But you don't want to trash exactly one conjurer.
I'll trash the other one next turn. It'll go straight to my hand, and then my enlarge will be already set up to trash it.
I wonder if Xerix is
My
actually
next turn is 2 turns from now.
a little bit upset that their student was trashed because student is a half decent curse trasher. Oh,
Oh, we were in the middle of resolving a wish this whole
oh,
time. Why didn't you just gain an enlarge then?
why indeed? Did you know that enlarge can trash lich into province?
I probably would have trashed the conjure. Or I guess no, maybe trashing the Lich is better.
Well, this is interesting. Xerix said, "You know what? I'm down a lot of points, but I could be down more."
Yeah.
Like the next time Mick plays gold, it's going to be another -3 VP for Xerix. This is just funny. It's like a Hail Mary cutthroat.
This cut, I thought Cutthroat made sense earlier for a very different game plan.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the discard attack hurts, but like this Cutthroat hurts you a lot too.
This is a Hail Mary cutthroat for sure. Ooh,
Oh,
Mick.
so that's what Knave meant by wish coming in, take it enlarge here.
This is this really hurts Mick because of the enlarge. I was like, why didn't Mick keep 2 aristocrats? But they might be enlarging an aristocrat. I'm not sure.
I'm going to what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh,
Continue to wonder that. Why not keep 2 aristocrats and oh, they're gonna wish for a lich. Okay, I like that. This is a good reason not to keep 2 aristocrats. I understand now.
this is very exciting.
Lich is a good card.
I don't think I've ever had the privilege of playing a lich.
Are you serious?
What is this resign? What is this resign? Oh, curses! The curse
early.
pile. Got it. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That looked like it might have done 5 fishing villages too, but yeah, I hadn't even noticed.
It was not clear at all. But yeah, the curse pile. That was okay. I get it.
Okay. You know, they wouldn't need a new table if they started immediately after the hour instead of immediately before the hour.
I have no idea what requires a new table.
It's when you cross 2 of those hour thresholds, because the servers rotate every hour. And so if you're on the server that's like 2 hours old, that one's going bye-bye. So you got to jump to the new server. If you start at like 2:01, then you're good until 4 p.m. If you start at 1:59, you're only good until 3 p.m.
All right, mix up 3-0. This game is not ending in 60 minutes. Or this
You never
match.
know.
The game hopefully
Xyrix could
is.
just resign 3 back to back to back.
No, we've already passed it. Okay, do we have any way to cheat Siren?
Wait, are you in the game? I'm looking at the lobby screen. Let me
Yeah,
rejoin
get
this.
in the game.
Oh, I see what I did. I rejoined the old table.
Friendly Urchin.
Okay. So the
That's
question is,
right.
can
That's
we cheat?
right. It's not even a trait. It's just, I mean, it is a trait, but it's an inherent trait. Urchin is just a friendly card.
I could not disagree more.
Did both players? Oh no, okay. So Mick has the 5-2, but Xyrix had the 2-5. I think the 5-2 is better, strictly better. Ooh, yeah. I don't see a way to cheat Siren. Do you?
I'm looking hard. Hmm.
But this is fine, right? You just get like 7 Urchins and you trash 2 of them to become Sirens. It's kind of mandatory because the Siren attack, or excuse me, the Siren effect is very strong against the Urchin and Mercenary attack. So I think that's kind of a forced move.
Yeah, I don't see a way to cheat Sirens. Uh, yeah, Siren does seem pretty good. The village situation is awkward.
Yeah.
Like, I would really like to have at least one village in my deck to play like Mercenary plus Siren or Remodel plus Siren. Uh,
Hmm.
and you can do that, but it comes at the cost of processing Urchins, which are going to run out.
You make a good point. Plus, you can only process Urchins into terminal actions.
You can process them to processions, which are
Our terminal
livable.
actions with complications. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the big asterisk. So maybe Mick is gonna skip Siren. Whoa, Mick got 2
I think if I could
mercenaries.
only play with one terminal here, I do think Siren looks pretty good. Well,
I guess.
so
Oh,
much
okay.
for
I
that one.
guess you get the second mercenary because Xyrix got Siren, so you know you're gonna be taking in curses. But it's still a little bit weird on a kingdom where you're not actually gonna get to play both of them on any given turn.
Yeah.
Like Mick got the mercenary pretty early. A little surprised by that second one. At this point, I'm not surprised by the resign, but I wouldn't have done it. Of course, you wouldn't have done it. But here we are.
I'm really quiet. Let me. Hmm.
Hmm.
The entire time?
So we've got Aristocrat again. I wonder if Mick's gonna get 6 of them.
Am I louder now?
You are much louder. I need to lower your volume.
So has that been happening this entire match?
I mean, I have increased your volume locally to try to balance the audio, but now I will lower it again to 80% or whatever.
Yeah, Discord was picking up my headset mic, which is terrible, instead of my computer mic, which seems to be what it defaults to, and I guess at some point I had reset there.
All right, so changes. So Xerix wants double change.
I don't want double change. I don't hate the double change, but I would like to click 6 distinct cards more than I would like to do that.
Oh yeah, magic lamps in the kingdom. That's usually a good reason to get uniques. little bit
Yeah, pretty
awkward.
much every Kingdom Secret Cave, it's just like activate Magic Lamp first, then figure out the rest of what you're doing.
Pretty good heuristic. It's not the easiest
Over under
kingdom.
on 9 Aristocrats gained.
I think it's plausible.
All right, we're starting. It's begun.
Like, you definitely want to play with Aristocrat.
I think I would once again probably want to play with 3 Aristocrats. I think that's just generally a good number in a kingdom where I want Aristocrats.
I want to start my turn.
Maybe you could do 5 here.
If I start my turn
like
with an
in,
Aristocrat
a
and
village.
Diplomat, I'm very happy. So that's going to influence my decision. Probably take supplies here, but you could take another unique.
I'm okay just having the 1 supplies for the time being. I would not mind more supplies later, but I feel like additional supplies aren't really consistent with the Pop Lamp ASAP plan.
There's a lot of debt. Okay.
He's already got a smithy, right? I think Wild Hunt makes sense.
I don't know. I kind of like Diplomat, but
I think Diplomat would be fine there too.
and then if you're really prioritizing activating, of course, Secret Cave has something to recommend.
Secret Cave here looks good. Could also be a second Aristocrat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with that, like, second Aristocrat is definitely better if you don't care about popping Magic Lamp. You do, but you know. Yeah, you've also got Squire to activate Diplomat. I think it's a nice Diplomat kingdom. In a pinch,
And
you can
Necropolis.
use Secret Cave to activate it.
And Ruined Village.
Mm-hmm. For all the ruins that you're gonna get from your opponent's Marauder. Bummer. No Magic Lamp. No activation for Xyrix either. The journey continues. Are you playing billiards in the background?
That's not me. Steph is unmuted. I hope Steph is winning his billiards game.
Yeah, me too. Could be moving furniture around also.
Understandable. That's what I usually do when watching Dominion. Oh!
Gotta stay active.
Sacrilegious. Where was that energy last Aristocrat game, Mick?
I'm gonna mute Steph. Feel free to jump in with commentary if you want to, Steph. But I have the power. I think maybe everybody has the power. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I have the power, and okay. I'm not anything special.
Can I mute somebody?
I have a commentator tag.
Oh, sure enough, there's a mute button.
Hmm.
Is that the tag that's doing that?
It might be like a local mute.
Oh, I guess it makes sense for you to mute then if you're recording.
You're recording, yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense.
I'm just wondering if 2 people could like reciprocally mute each other and then they're stuck like that.
So Mick doesn't seem to be prioritizing activating the lamp too much because he's got 3 wild hunts now. But maybe that's not a unique that he needs, you know? He's just like, hey, if I draw my deck, I'll have enough uniques without wild hunt. Oh, Mick cracked the lamp. I'm paying attention to this game.
Do you crack the lamp? I don't think that's how magic lamps work.
The lamp's gone.
You Like, can you break it open and then get the genie out that way?
I mean, that lamp's gone. It would
Crack is
take
surely the key word.
it would take an act of
Or are you
God
thinking like
or a lurker to bring it back.
crack like a puzzle? Like you figured out the code to the lamp?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm asking Maho.
Oh. Oh, hey, you can trash this Squire and get a Marauder.
But then you have a Marauder in your deck.
Yeah, I know. But you could change that into something better.
That's true. I would actually, I don't know. I was gonna say you want the Squire for buys, but you're actually about to go into debt if you trash anything else.
So here's the funny thing.
I could imagine trashing the Squire there. Yeah, I don't know that you need to do that. Like this looks perfectly fine as well, but trashing Squire actually looks like a surprisingly reasonable line.
Xyrix is like usually resigns much earlier than me, but this is a case where I would consider resigning and Xyrix hasn't. You're like so far behind.
Xyrix resigns are not predictable.
You're just so far behind.
You have to expect them when they're least expected.
Lamp games are like that, though. All right, here's my prediction. If Xyrix doesn't draw a village with his horse, he resigns.
I predict Xyrix resigns before it gets to that point.
Whoa, that's actually a pretty good guess.
We'll see.
Okay, I think these Wild Hunt points should be taken. You did it! You won!
You underestimated him.
Damn. Yeah, that's Magic Lamp sometimes. I don't think there's anything Xyrix necessarily did wrong. I wasn't paying close enough attention to be able to judge that. But we're on to Game 6, and Qsenoch, the biggest bully in Dominion League, is threatening another 6-0 outcome.
Again.
Mick does not just lead the league in 6-0. I think he has like double or more the number of 6-0 outcomes than any other participant in the league.
You play it. A lot of the stats are not like controlling for number of seasons played.
Mm-hmm.
So not quite double. Mick has 17 6-0 results. Second is A Libby with 12.
Okay, Libby. What's third at?
Three-way tie for 11.
Okay.
Habo, Earl, and Robert Tux.
Interesting. Okay.
Or Roberto X.
I think it's just notable.
Earl is a...
Go ahead.
I was going to say Earl's also a long-time player, but then I clicked and I realized I was wrong about that. He's played for more than half the seasons, but I thought he was an OG league player.
I think Mick is notable because he 6-0s me, and that makes me sad. But also just like he gets 6-0s in A division, and that's very rare.
A different stat that is a little bit less dependent on number of seasons. Oh, never mind. I was going to say Mick had the highest win percentage of A division, but that's actually not true. Steph does.
Yeah.
I feel like Mick's probably up there
from the early days. Yeah. I mean, it has. You figure it has to be Steph because like Steph quit while he was ahead, and Mick's just been playing for so much longer in league, and there's a lot of tough competition out there.
Oh, sorry. I should have been clear. I meant like in a single season.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Season 7, Steph got an 83% win rate.
That was before even my time. All right, so this game has started, and there's a lot of overlords gained. Now, I assume...
That would make a lot more sense to me if Overlord said what it used to say.
Yeah, could play duration cards like Bridge Troll. Yep, I agree. I mean...
Those were the days.
Hey, playing it as upgrade is good, but yeah, like... I don't know.
I found the non-duration clause on Overlord to be a shockingly big nerf.
Yeah.
Just a lot of times I'd be happy to play Overlord as a duration.
I think it was a big nerf. And I think also on Band of Misfits, because Band of Misfits usually just struggles with having more than one viable target in general, and just taking away the duration cards just makes it.
Yeah, I enjoy Band of Misfits when it's good, like having options. My impression is that Donald X does not like Overlord very much as a card in the first place, He really dislikes those kingdoms where you just buy Overlord every time you're out of debt and then go back into debt. I don't mind that. I'm happy to have a deck full of Overlords because you're actually doing a diversity of things usually in those decks, even if you're buying one card. But I think he tries to actively minimize that dynamic.
I'm not sure if those kinds of kingdoms exist, like where that's actually optimal. But it is like an easy trap to fall into because, as Donald
I
X
jump
has,
into that trap every time I see it. I just buy Overlord, rebuy Overlord out of debt, do it again.
yeah, as Donald X has explained, right? Is if it's you like you have 2 debt and you have 4 coins, so you pay off
Buy
2
an
debt,
Overlord.
and it's like, oh, I have 2 left. What am I gonna buy? And it's like I could buy nothing, but that sucks. Let me buy an Overlord, right? And yeah,
Yeah,
that's probably correct in that situation, but it's like
yeah.
it's a cascading thing where it's like, you know, you just the
With cards like
Overlord
City Quarter,
causes it.
like my heuristic for a card like City Quarter is like I want a gainer or something in my deck so that I can be gaining whatever I need while I'm in debt. And once I've got like a remodel or a workshop or something, then I can commit to I'm just going to buy City Quarter every time I'm in debt. Overlord is the advantage. You can just jump straight into debt from turn one, and then whenever you need gains, you play your Overlord as the gainer instead of the trasher, and it does it all.
Okay, here's what's going to happen in this game. The players are stocking up on daimyos, and they have some
Yeah.
overlords, but what they're missing is Bridge Troll. But they only need one, so
Yes.
there's going to be 2 ways to get that. One is you buy transport twice. Another is you hit 5. That's not happening. And then another
A third
is
is you just upgrade something twice into
exactly.
Bridge Troll.
Yep.
Yeah.
So these players are not playing to hit 5. Although there's a Wayfarer for Mick, so I wonder if that is gonna like.
Yeah, you could easily get a Bridge Troll here without getting out of debt. Play Wayfarer, gain a silver, upgrade it twice. That's your Bridge Troll right there. Uh,
It is not easy, but it is possible. Oh no, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see if that happens. You can even play it this turn. I think that's worthwhile. Oh,
yeah,
that's
I
funny.
think I
You
would like
need
to
two
get a.
bridge trolls.
Why do you need 2 Bridge Trolls?
Well, just because one's going to be in play, right? Like, you can't daimyo this bridge troll if you play it.
Oh, you just mean in total, like
Mhm.
your deck needs to have 2 Bridge Trolls in it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm on board with getting a Bridge Troll in play this turn. I don't think it's like absolutely necessary or anything.
Yeah.
I can
you're,
imagine
you're
maybe
going to
you
have a
prefer
decent
to-
amount of money. Prefer to have what? What are you thinking?
Like you could play the Oasis first and then
Mhm.
Royal Galley the Overlord to get
Mhm.
that into play. Maybe
Yeah,
that
that's
would
not
be an
bad.
alternative to consider.
Yeah, it is
I
nice.
think I like the Bridge Troll line.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You're convincing me because if you galley the Overlord, like at the start of the next turn, you can just play that as Journeyman, which is pretty good, or Wayfarer, right?
If I had a better thing for this, oh no, never mind. I'm back to thinking this is a good line. The reason I was about to say don't do this is because like there's nothing good for this Overlord to do this turn otherwise except be an upgrade. But Way of the Rat is the answer to that, which is what Mick just found.
Yeah, and you can buy a Bridge Troll here.
So yeah, I think this line makes sense.
I would buy a Bridge Troll, I think.
I'm gonna click Daimyo.
Daimyo is a reasonable buy, but so is Bridge Troll.
Yeah. Both of those are fine.
There we go.
Mick goes for the Bridge Troll.
Let's go. I'm rooting for Mick now.
You can get either of these cards without buying them, but the cost to gain a Daimyo is playing Daimyo's Way of the Rat instead of playing it normally, and the cost to get a Bridge Troll is upgrading stuff, and to me the latter is a lower cost. I want my Daimyos to be Daimyos.
I like Mick's game plan, by the way. Using the Wayfarer to gain silvers to upgrade. That's very clean. That's very elegant, let's say. It's an elegant Dominion plan. Okay. So we can play this as 2 different modes, right? So we can rat the first Overlord and then we can play it as a Wayfarer.
No, you cannot. Overlord is a command card, and Daimyo does not play command cards. So Daimyo followed by Overlord. Daimyo skips the Overlord and double plays whatever Overlord plays.
That sucks. I guess it's fine. There were a lot of cards, as Xyrix said.
When I was commentating the Jaunts versus was it Haka game earlier this season, I pointed that out with respect to Captain, and then ended up making the same mistake that I had mentioned earlier in that kingdom, when I was like, yeah. So just to be clear, Daimyo plus Captain doesn't do the thing you expected to do. And then it comes up where John's Daimyo is a captain. And I was like, why does he keep playing the same card over and over? How dumb.
So Royal Galley on Daimyo looks pretty good to me. Seems like just because it seems like a really good way to start the next turn.
Yeah,
I
it
really
does sound like a good thing to do.
wish I had an
I mean,
Overlord
that being said,
down
you might
there.
also want to be upgrading this Royal Galley. Or no, you could upgrade the Wayfarer maybe to get the Bridge Troll.
I don't think there's any Overlord down there. I think this is
Oh,
just
oh, he
sad
hasn't played.
times.
Okay, yeah. Forget I said anything.
Yeah, no, this is just kind of sad.
Okay, so here I think you just discard the Wayfarer and then rat the Daimyo.
I mean, you're playing this Oasis twice, right? Yeah.
I guess you rat the Oasis and then play the Oasis and then rat the Daimyo?
I don't care to have another Oasis. Question is, do we want to rat the
You know,
Wayfarer in addition to the Daimyo?
yeah, actually, yeah, this is better than what I said. I think rat Wayfarer sounds better than gaining another Oasis.
Yeah. Especially when you start your turn with a Daimyo. That's a very nice start.
Your Wayfarer costs 6 debt.
That's pretty funny.
So we're not gonna have enough money to buy Bridge Troll, but that doesn't matter because we can just buy another Daimyo and gain the Bridge Troll somehow during the turn.
Yeah. It's just like xyrix.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
he wants that Bridge Troll that bad.
I mean, I don't think you necessarily need another Wayfarer, but it would be nice just because you have it earlier in the turn.
I would be happy to have another Wayfarer. If there weren't another good buy, I could understand. Like, I'd be fine passing up a Wayfarer to get a Bridge Troll, but like buying a Daimyo, I think is about on par with buying a Bridge Troll here in terms of the amount it does for your deck.
Yeah, it's
And
not
you
like
can
you
still buy a
want
Daimyo.
the Bridge Troll like early in your shuffle, so doing the thing
Yeah.
where you plan to upgrade into Bridge Troll later on seems maybe better. All right, let's see what
You know,
kind of.
Daimyo originally cost 8 debt.
Why did it change?
Well, you see, Daimyo originally worked like Throne Room, more so than like Flagship, where it directly played the thing from your hand. Turns out that was even harder to track. And so it got changed, and I think the logic was like, well, it got weaker, so I guess it's got to cost less now.
Yeah,
Had to compare more favorably to Artist.
yeah. And just to be clear, I'm not on the like. There's some people who whoa. Yeah, what the hell? Oh, Mick messed up. That was a
How so?
very. The turn's over, isn't it? He ran out of actions.
Oh,
Like he should not have ratted that Daimyo. That
greedy,
was a
greedy.
huge misplay.
Yeah. I was gonna say, why don't you just play the Overlord for draw? But he didn't have enough actions to do that.
No, because he ratted the Daimyo. He would have otherwise. This could
Let's flash back
turn.
one turn. Remember when I was saying, I would have bought a Daimyo here because ratting a Daimyo is a really big cost to your debt. I was vindicated.
I think Mick just played too greedy this turn. Like you have a good turn if you just don't rat that Daimyo. Just play. You didn't draw the Overlord, right? It was just like in hand. Let me just check this. Yeah, the Oasis didn't draw the Overlord. Even so, you could just play the Overlord for draw, and then you get to play like a Daimyo or two into a Bridge Troll. That seems pretty darn good.
Greed is one of the 7 deadly sins.
So it is.
Another
were
is
we?
buying gold.
Oh, right, Daimyo strength. There was like a judgment match, right, where it was Daimyo versus King's Court, and
Mhm.
this was at the peak like Daimyo hype, but yeah, King's Court kind of thrashed it, so something to keep in
Interesting.
mind. Yeah, it turns out triplicating actions is kind of bonkers.
Daimyo is just, it's pretty bonkers too, though.
Daimyo is efficient, but it's not bonkers
It's
in the
like a
same
King's
way.
Court, but one of your actions gets hit with Enchantress. But you can open with it turn 2.
Okay, but it's not like that because King's Court on King's Court.
Ah, yeah, I guess that's a pretty big difference. You can't Daimyo.
Yeah.
You used to be able to Daimyo.
Mmm.
Like you could just stick 2 Daimyos in your deck and then you Daimyo the Daimyo, and like that's just, it's draw, it's a village. It doesn't even matter what you play with it afterwards. See, that's when it was worth 8 debt. Now it's only a 6 debt card.
Yeah. So I take it you play tested Rising Sun?
Yeah.
So I did not. And
I
then
do remember
go ahead.
there was a period where I hadn't even internalized that the cost had changed, and I kept
Mhm.
buying Daimyo, thinking it was 8 debt, and being like, "Man, this card's really powerful." Like thinking it was more than it was, and still being like, "Yeah, this card's really strong."
Yeah. So I didn't preview. I didn't play test, and so when the previews came out and shadow cards were revealed, first of all, I was very excited, but I also thought, like, oh, what other like vanilla cards can be a good like shadow card? And one of the first things that came to mind is Throne Room. I'm like, ooh, Shadow Throne Room would be really juicy.
That would be strong. It'd be very strong.
And
Daimyo is
it's like
kinda
kind
Shadow
of
Throne
similar,
Room-esque.
except
Yeah.
it's obviously like you have much more control with the shadow cards, which is why I really love the mechanic. Right? It's like I'm a big hater of like Scholar and Library, but even I've come around on Ronin. It's like when you can control when you play this like draw to X card, it's just so much better.
I remember originally Ninja was the only shadow card, and
It's such a good mechanic.
I I tried so hard. I was like, please kill this card. I tried to stop it. But at the very least, what came out of that, although Ninja survived, was John Life's like, I'll just make more shadow cards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with the other ones. Those are nice. Ronin's fun. Alley is fun. I like Shadow's mechanic. Just one of them happens to be evil.
Fishmonger is the other one, right?
I like Fishmonger in Kingdoms where it does something like weirdly powerful.
Like
Like
a
Fishmonger
way.
plus, yeah, like
Yeah.
Way of the Pig or something, and it's just like a cheap laboratory.
Yeah.
Or you do like Capitalism plus Fishmonger, and there's like buy 8 Fishmongers, and then you just always have a province in hand every shuffle.
Yeah, Fishmonger is an interesting one because it's such like a weak vanilla effect, but it's pretty decent card. Yeah, Ali's like a little bit limited, but I do like reliability tools, so I'm not going to complain about it. It's also like one of the card. It's kind of funny because it's like fugitive, right? The shadow card form of fugitive.
Yeah.
And Donald X was like one of the reasons why he didn't print fugitive as a kingdom card is because it was too automatic to open with. But it's like Ali is strictly better in that context. So I was a little surprised to see that get printed.
Old Map also exists and is a pretty good opener.
Yeah, it's not quite as good though, right? Because you do have to do the discard before the
Yeah.
draw. And that does matter sometimes, especially when it's like, oh, I've got a trasher and an estate in hand, and I'd really like to trash an estate, and I have like a
Yeah.
a 2 out of 4 or 2 out of 5 chance of like drawing another estate. So what do I do? And you inevitably don't discard the estate, and now you're like, well, I could have had one more copper. Phooey.
Or your hand's like Old Map and 4 coppers. You play it, you draw a 5th copper,
Uh-huh.
and then you have to discard one, and you draw into an estate, and you miss
Yep.
5.
That too.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, this game is going on, and it looks like Xyrix played the Bridge Troll, but only once. Right?
Is that so?
No, they played it 0 times. They have 2 Bridge Trolls in the deck.
He played it using Way of the Rat.
Yep.
So he did play it. It's just not in play.
Sure. Yeah. So Xyrix may be looking for a big turn here, right? Because like if you get
Oh.
5 Bridge Troll plays, you can probably win the game, maybe.
Duelist interaction that you got to watch out for. If you play, for example, Royal Galley on Daimyo followed by Bridge Troll, you're going to double play the Bridge Troll this turn, but then Royal Galley is going to yank the Daimyo out of play, and you're only going to get one Bridge Troll effect next turn because of the duration rules change.
Oh god. What?
So the new way duration cards work is for all future turn effects. So this doesn't change how they work on the current turn, but for any duration effect that's going to be resolved on a future turn, the card has to still be in play on that future turn to track that effect is happening. So if the Bridge Troll somehow leaves play, which couldn't happen here because you can't Royal Galley on a Bridge Troll directly, if the Bridge Troll leaves play, just all the effects fizzle. But if you played like a Royal Galley, if you played a Daimyo on a Bridge Troll, and the Bridge Troll stays in play but the Daimyo leaves, you're going to get one Bridge Troll effect because the Bridge Troll's in play but the Daimyo is not anymore. So you'll get 2 extra buys and 2 cost reduction this turn, but only 1 cost reduction the following turn.
Mm-hmm. But this does not... There's no tricky business with a duration Royal Galley playing a Daimyo playing a Bridge Troll. That works as expected?
Like the Daimyo was already set aside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
The Daimyo will just stay up.
Okay.
Why would the Daimyo leave play without the Bridge Troll? If you played the Daimyo with a Royal Galley, it's like Royal Galley followed by Daimyo followed by Bridge Troll. The Royal Galley is going to yank the Daimyo out of play. If you just do Daimyo plus Bridge Troll, it works fine.
Wow, that was a snap province buy.
Also, shoot. Now I'm trying to remember. There's definitely some Royal Galley weirdness. What happens if you Daimyo a Royal Galley? That's legal, right? Yeah. So if you do like Royal Galley, Daimyo Royal Galley, I think that's the scenario where you just accidentally lose your action cards permanently. Right?
I don't know. I haven't internalized the new duration rules.
You play Royal Galley, you play a Daimyo, you play Royal Galley. That Royal Galley gets doubled. You set aside 2 action cards. Let's say an Overlord and followed by a Journeyman.
Okay.
But now that Daimyo...
Yep. So nothing is tracking the second play of the second Royal Galley.
Right. So whatever the second card you set aside with that Royal Galley
it's gone for good.
Just gets stuck aside. Like if you did Overlord followed by Journeyman, the Journeyman just gets stuck forever and you never get it back.
One wonders if that has happened because I'm looking at Qsenoch's play area and I see a lot of shit.
It shows up in the log, I think.
I see 3 Daimyos. Okay, but 2 Daimyos on 2 Royal Galleys. What?
I don't think anything.
So I think there are 4 Royal Galley.
So far.
Yeah, because I think there are 4 Royal Galley plays active for Mick, and there are 4 set aside cards. So I think he'll get all of those cards in play. And then there's another Daimyo just playing the Bridge Troll for Mick. One wonders how many Daimyos does Qsenoch have left? 1 or 2? Maybe 3?
Yeah, so...
Oh no, Qsenoch has 1.
Mistakes like this... I've made mistakes like this before without noticing, even with the log warning, but there should be a warning that shows up in the log if it's like, hey, this card's about to be set aside.
Yeah.
And
it happens like after you've done it, though.
Like you do it, and then the log says, you're not going to get an effect next turn. I forget the exact text of it, but I don't think that's happened yet.
Okay, so can Xyrix win this turn is the first question. He's got a lot of Bridge Trolls, but he is kind of missing the actions.
Yeah, there's no way to get an extra village effect here, so you can play maximum of 6 Bridge Trolls, looks like.
And that's probably not enough.
So you have no Bridge Trolls in play, so that's 7 buys. Yeah, there's no piles that you can empty with 7 buys. You do have 1 more Overlord play.
You can lower a Royal Carriage by upgrading the Oasis.
What's the minimum number of games that Xyrix needs to win? I don't think he can do provinces, right? With 6 Bridge Trolls?
No.
Maybe?
No.
You need 14 money? It seems hard to get 14 money here.
It sure does.
So if not provinces, what's the lowest number of gains he would need? That's a lot, right? You need like 2 province gains plus like 10 more gains to empty piles. I don't think Xyrix can win here. I'm imagining scenarios where you play like some number of Daimyos, play the first Bridge Troll, play Overlord as an upgrade, gaining some card because you can remodel a copper into whatever you want. Then play the rest of the bridge trolls. That's only gonna like eke out 1 or 2 extra gains in the best case scenario.
I don't think it ekes out any because every daimyo playing Overlord is a daimyo you're not playing on Bridge Troll. Oh, but it is an extra action. Right. So you get you get one more Bridge Troll. You get one more gain.
2 more gains, right?
One more because now you have the action to play your 3rd Bridge Troll.
So you get to play an extra Bridge Troll, but also you upgraded the copper into whatever you're trying to pile.
Yeah. But like you could have just bought that otherwise. Like if you instead you had daimyoed the Bridge Troll.
I'm not sure what we're comparing it against, but point being is like you get an extra gain or 2 by like
what
daimyo,
what I'm
Bridge
comparing
Troll.
it against is you play Overlord as upgrade, trashing 1 card into Royal Galley, which just happened. And then you play the rest of your daimyos on Bridge Trolls, and you play 2 Bridge Trolls because that's all you have the actions for.
Yeah, it's 1 extra gain relative to that line. If you're as long as you're using the Overlord for 1 gain. So no, it could be 2 gains. So here's an example of how you could get 2 more gains relative to that line. You play enough Bridge Trolls to make Bridge Troll cost 1. Then you daimyo Overlord like 2 times, gain some Bridge Trolls, and you get 2 extra actions, and you can play all your Bridge Trolls plus the new Bridge Troll you gained. So there's definitely lines here that get more gains than it looks like.
That might have...
I think he is like mini gains away, right?
No, that might have done it. Let's see. We have to back up a step, but a daimyo was played with that Royal Galley. So if you play 2 more daimyos, you have 1 left. Then you play Bridge Troll. Now everything costs 4 less. Okay? Now you play... Oh, but you only have 1 daimyo left. So you can only daimyo... Yeah, the Overlord, which gives you +1 action. So yeah, you can gain an extra Bridge Troll, but you can't... Or an extra 2 Bridge Trolls, but you can't play them both. So yeah, I think your best line is you cost reduce down...
Maybe we don't need to play that many, because Wayfarer currently costs 4. But Wayfarer only costs 4 because we already did the upgrade thing. I was about to suggest upgrading the Wayfarers, but I don't think that works.
Well, you could upgrade a Royal Galley first into a Bridge Troll, and then you can upgrade a Wayfarer. Oh no, then right, then Wayfarer.
The cost of the Bridge Troll.
Oh no, but okay, you can upgrade. You can upgrade Oasis into Royal Galley, and then you upgrade Wayfarer into Bridge Troll, so you get an extra Bridge Troll that way. Okay, so here's the line. The line, and this might not win, but it is the way to maximize like gains. You get 2 daimyos in play. So one was played to the Royal Galley. You play one of your 3 daimyos. So you have 2 daimyos left. Now you play Bridge Troll. Everything costs 3 less. Now you upgrade Oasis into Galley, Copper into Galley, Galley into...
Wait, sorry, you played 1 daimyo and a Bridge Troll?
No, 2 daimyos. So one has already been played to this Royal Galley. Just, I want to make that clear. So you play 1 extra daimyo from hand before this Overlord. And you play the Bridge Troll. So
I see.
Everything costs 3 less.
Okay.
Then you play your other 2 daimyos along with your Overlord playing upgrade. You upgrade Oasis to Galley. You upgrade Copper to Galley. You upgrade Galley to Bridge Troll. Probably in a different order, so you actually draw the Bridge Troll. Or I guess you can do... No, you don't want to play Wayfarer. But you can play Royal Galley, so I think it's all fine. Nope, Galley can't play Bridge Troll. Okay, so you do it in a different order. I think it's probably...
Galley can play your last daimyo, right? Or are you playing all the daimyos?
Actually, you can probably just go Copper to Galley, then you go Galley to Bridge Troll, and then like another Copper to Galley or something. Like you can keep the Oasis if you need it to like draw one.
Yeah, leave the Oasis in hand. You Copper to Galley, and then one of the Wayfarers into Bridge Troll, and then you can play Royal Galley on Oasis for draw.
Yeah. So then what you have left after you've gained 3 extra cards of relevance is you have 3 more Bridge Trolls, 4 more Bridge Trolls, which you can play straight up. So you have everything
Four more
costs
Bridge
7
Trolls.
less.
Yeah.
You have 7 extra buys. So you have 8 buys, and you've gained 3 extra cards. That is exactly enough to empty Royal Galleys and Bridge Trolls and buy Province and get a losing tie. Boom! Nailed it.
All right. Yeah.
So that Province that makes Qsenoch just like snap bot was
Yeah.
the perfect defense. There's no way he could have known it, but I think we've worked that out. Some things are happening.
Ready? What have we done here?
We've gained gold.
So we did the 6 Bridge Troll play line, which is not enough money to empty provinces and not enough bias to empty anything else.
You can bet that at least one province is going to get bought. Otherwise, you don't get a gold.
Otherwise, you don't get a... Oh, I see what you mean.
But it's dangerous to lower provinces too much, but probably 2 provinces, I think, would be what I'd do.
So what does Mick have in
Mick
play?
has exactly 1 Daimyo in deck. I just want to point that out. Yeah. Because Xyrix has 6 Daimyos, and Mick has 3 in duration.
Are those all playing Bridge Trolls, though?
No. 2 of them are playing Royal Galley, aren't they?
Ah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you started turn 9 with a Daimyo Galley.
So yeah, I don't think that Mick can actually get a lot of Bridge Troll plays here, especially because Mick just has the 1 Bridge Troll. So I think they're going to just have Province equal to 4 unless they can pull some upgrade tricks, which they most certainly can. Because they have a duration double Bridge Troll in play. They want to get maybe 1 or 2 more... I guess they want a Daimyo a Bridge Troll, and then they can like upgrade Copper into Bridge Troll. And they have...
I don't know what you buy here is
quite a lot of
Xyrix.
actions.
I feel like if Xyrix manages to get another turn with this many Bridge Trolls in play, I think he's going to win. So I like taking a points lead, and then I otherwise think I just like don't want to touch anything, really. Just like lower whatever the least low piles are. Take some ducats or something for plus buy.
Apparently we're taking Journeyman.
Where are those actions coming from? Oh, he has a bunch of galleys. Are these galleys coming out of play or going into play?
He has played 2 he's definitely played 1 galley, which is...
The first 2 galleys that are in play are
Daimyo.
coming out of play. And then there's...
Yeah, he's got 2 more galleys.
A galleyd Daimyo and a galleyd upgrade.
But there is, like... Really? Somebody gained an upgrade?
Did I misspeak? Maybe it's a...
No, I think you're right. I'm looking and upgrade has 9 next to it. I'm really shocked. I didn't know when that happened. Like, I thought the Overlords were just playing upgrades.
I think I just want to buy, like, some ducats here.
In which case, you can undo 2 of the Copper plays and trash them.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. So let's see what Mick can do. I think Mick can do some great things, but it's going to require some tricky sequencing.
Do we gain a silver here? Probably.
Probably. I mean, you're definitely drawing stuff up, so...
Yeah, I don't think there's anything helpful to do with keeping Wayfarer at a high cost for like upgrade purposes, and this maybe gets you a province pile out if you're high on money and low on buys.
As after Mick Daimyo's the Bridge Troll, everything costs 4 less. So you can upgrade silver into Bridge Troll. That's the line that I see.
What has he got in play? God, there's so much. So he's got
2 Overlords. Yeah, 2 Overlords and an Oasis.
Okay.
And he's got an Overlord in hand, so he's got a lot of upgrade potential here. Unfortunately, the Royal Galleyd OACs can't gain Bridge Troll. Or at least one of them can't. Right, you can gain 1 Royal Galley, and then you can change that Royal Galley into a Bridge Troll.
The Royal Galleyd Overlords?
Yes. Like, because you have to play them before you play the Bridge Troll in hand, so you can't go straight from silver to Bridge Troll.
Yeah, so the first thing I'd be looking at is like, what if I upgrade 2 silvers and 2 more royal galleys, then play Bridge Troll, then Daimyo the Overlord, and then I upgrade 2 more silvers into 2 more Bridge Trolls. Is that going to lead to a pile out? Maybe.
I think you need to Daimyo the Bridge Troll. Personally. So here's what I would do. What I would do is I would.
Did I just count Daimyo? I thought maybe I said Daimyo 2 different times. So I upgrade 2 silvers into 2 royal galleys.
I would.
Daimyo Bridge Troll. Then everything costs 1. Then Overlord. Yeah, Overlord 1 thing into 1 more Bridge Troll.
Yeah, so you can get 1 more Bridge Troll because you go silver to galley, then galley to Bridge Troll because upgrade draws a card, so that works.
Then you have 6 buys, royal galleys at 2, Bridge Trolls at 4. That piles out but doesn't win. Doesn't look like. Unless maybe I don't think you have enough actions to do any fancy Way of the Rat stuff with the royal galleys that you gained.
Sorry, you have 7 buys, but you're saying that's not enough? Isn't it
7 buys?
Yeah. Oh,
is that... You Daimyo Bridge Troll, that's 2 more buys, and you play 1 more Bridge Troll.
No, 2 more Bridge Trolls, because you can still Overlord, your other Overlord in hand upgrades a silver directly to Bridge Troll, right? So the duration Overlords upgrade silver to galley, galley to Bridge Troll. So now galleys are at 3, Bridge Trolls are at 4.
Where is the galley that we're trashing into a Bridge Troll with the duration Overlord?
The one you've gained from the silver.
How are you drawing that?
Get lucky. You have one silver down there, so I guess maybe that's the argument for not gaining that silver.
Well, maybe that's the Wait, so you do 1 Overlord first, you trash silver into Royal Galley, then you resolve the Oasis.
Yeah. You're right. That sequence does work.
I see. I was imagining gaining 2 Royal Galleys. You're imagining gaining 2 more Bridge Trolls. I see the difference. Okay.
Yes. So so then you Daimyo Bridge Troll. Everything costs 4 less. You Overlord upgrade silver directly to Bridge Troll. Now Royal Galleys are at 3. Bridge Trolls are at 3. If you can draw up and play those Bridge Trolls, which hopefully you can. I don't know what the last card is in deck. Oh, it's a copper. Anyways, if you could do all that, then you'd get 6 Bridge Trolls in play, which is 7 buys, and you'd have 3 Royal Galleys and 3 Bridge Trolls to empty, and then you could buy Province. Yep.
Yeah.
So I think it was incorrect. If you want the tie, it's incorrect. It was incorrect to get that silver, just because you don't need it.
I think is it not guaranteed even with? I guess the problem.
I don't think so because to draw the second Bridge Troll, you just have 1 Oasis. So I think it's a 50%.
Oh God, let me think about this again. So you gain a galley, you resolve the Oasis. Now that you're going to draw a Royal Galley and a silver in some order, you're going to trash the Royal Galley into a Bridge Troll, but then your discard pile is going to be 1 Province and 1 Bridge Troll. Your Daimyo will draw 1 card and your Oasis will draw 1 card. I think it's guaranteed.
You're right. I forgot about the Daimyo drawing a card. Yeah. No, I think you're right.
It's sounding like a guaranteed tie.
But Mick did not do that because they played Oasis first.
So given that was the only line that seems to pile the 3 pile, is there anything that gets you enough money to empty provinces here? It's much less gain intensive. So Daimyo Bridge Troll twice, provinces cost 4. You're not making 20 money here, I don't think. I don't think there's a province pile out to be
had. You need to get... If you get...
Are we piling overlords?
Hold on.
Is that a thing?
You can upgrade directly to... No, you can't. Oh, interesting.
Can we... So Overlord is a really expensive pile to pile if there's more than 1 of them, because 8 debt is a lot, and Bridge Troll does not reduce the cost of debt. If you can get 2 more Overlords using Way of the Rat, the last Overlord is free, because you can just use your last buy on it. But that's a lot of Overlord plays that are doing nothing. Mick seems to think there's something here. This looks like Mick going for an Overlord pile out.
Well, you can
Which
use one of the
was not on my radar.
You can use at least some of the overlords to upgrade Oasis into Rail Galley, right? Which lowers a pile, or silver, right? Like,
Oh, if you redraw the overlord that you gained.
yeah. All right, this has to be draw, right?
Can it? Like a terminal draw card?
Yeah. What else are you doing?
Where are you getting the actions to do the rest of these Way of the Rats?
Oh shit! I guess you're not. All right.
He
Hold
went
on.
for the Way of the Rat. So it looked like he thought there was a pile out here. We'll see if he's right about it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Interesting that he trashed the Oasis over the silver. Don't you want to draw the Overlord?
Yeah, I think you do. I think one of these... I don't know how an extra action was gained, but I'm a little confused on that point. But I think this Overlord is gonna be draw? Question mark?
Wayfair, okay. So does this do it? I think you're too short on money.
Turns
you
out
can gain one more Overlord, but you need
dead is a
more
lot of
than
dead.
8 money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have 8 money. There's an Overlord down there. So what if you play this Overlord as Oasis? That's still not enough, because after discarding a copper, you'd only have 7 money.
What
Even
if you
drew
play
the
it as
Overlord.
upgrade?
You still have to buy 2 Overlords, right?
Oh. Womp womp.
I'm not seeing this.
Wait. No, the Oasis line... Oh, right. Then you can't rat it. You have to discard a coin to rat it. Wait, what if you just draw straight up?
This is a long game, but I would not agree with the assessment that it's a surprisingly long game. I think these are the types of games that in practice tend to go the longest, which is you've got an engine that has like a million possible gains, and then there's like multiple different pile out lines. And the thing that really makes games take forever is these in-game scenarios where you're close and you've got to look at like, can I empty provinces? Can I empty these 3 piles, those 3 piles? And those turns just like double the time that a game takes.
Yeah, these players are doing a good job of making the questions really close, right? Like we calculated twice in a row. Like xyrix was left with a line where they could tie on VP and empty piles. And then Mick was left in the line where they could like take a tie. You know, so like those are incredibly close decisions to find, and we had the benefit of 2 brains working together and no stress on the line to be able to find that tie for Mick. But yeah.
All right, so that was a 5-1? Is that
5-1 for Mick. Good on xyrix to keep the presence of mind.
xyrix was doing a better job finding the early resign lines, but Mick finally caught up in that last game.
It was not an early resign line. That was a late resign line. That was a failure to rat appropriately.
Was transport in that kingdom? No, I did not figure that in at all. Was transport there the whole time?
Oh my god, transport was in the kingdom, wasn't it?
I didn't even remotely consider transport. No.
Wait, was it?
No, wasn't
that was a previous kingdom, wasn't it?
You're making this up. No, it was Way of the Rat and Toil, wasn't it? Or was Toil from Kingdom 2?
I think transport was in game 5.
Transported anything. Y'all are making this up. I don't believe this.
Come on. If transport's in the kingdom, you open transport overlord by overlord. Wait, did they do that?
Apparently they did that?
Oh, no. Let me scroll up. Oh, no.
I'm not in the kingdom anymore.
Oh, me neither. Maybe it was there. If transport was in the kingdom... Wait, can I go to edit? Can I go to edit table and see it? No, I can't. Okay. I don't have the data to figure this out right now, but if you load the kingdom... I'll do the
downbot command really fast.
If you...
Game, player, xyrix? Or that's not going to work. It's going to be match, xyrix.
No, the game number's in the chat. We have the game number.
Oh, that's another way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, sure enough, transport was there.
Hey, that makes it much easier to empty overlords. It doesn't really matter for any of the other pile-outs, but...
I was definitely thinking like 8 dead is a lot. So Overlord only costs 3.
Yeah.
I thought there might have been an Overlord pile-out there.
Yeah. if you'd like
I
stopped
understand why Mick was going for that Overlord line.
if you like stopped upgrading some of those silvers, because it turns out you could have just like bought the Royal
Yeah.
Galleys for 1 coin, so upgrading a silver into them cost you a coin.
Yeah, interesting.
What a world.
If transport had been there from the get-go, that would have helped a lot.
Do we even see people transport for Daimyo?
I don't think at any point in that kingdom did I even remotely think about transport.
I didn't know. Yeah, they must have opened with it, but then like we didn't see it after the opening.
How come no one else mentioned it?
Yeah, that would have
It was
been relevant
dereliction duty on
information.
the chat's part as well.
Come
I
on.
waited till after the game. We spent like 5 minutes looking at different lines, and no one was like, "What about transport?" Until after the resignation.
Come on.
Jeez.
All right. Well, that was some fun, complex kingdoms. Thanks for commentating with me, JNails.
Alrighty. See you later.
See you later.